Have you ever seen something so powerful, yet completely unaware of its own strength? Picture this, a massive elephant. We're talking about an animal strong enough to rip a tree straight out of the ground. Yet if you've ever been to a circus or seen one in captivity, you'll notice something strange. These huge animals often stand tied down by nothing more than a small chain around one of their legs. Now here's the catch. That tiny chain couldn't possibly hold them back. They could snap it in half in a second if they wanted to, but they don't. They never even try. Why? Because when that elephant was just a baby, that same chain was unbreakable. As a calf, it tried again and again to break free, but it wasn't strong enough. Over time, it gave up. It learned to believe, I can't escape. And here's the sad truth. Once that belief was planted, it stayed there for life. Even as a full-grown elephant, more powerful than a car engine, it never questions that old story. It accepts defeat. And this right here is one of the best metaphors for money and life. Most people in America live like that elephant. They believe they'll never break free from their financial chains. They think things like, I'll never be rich. Investing is too complicated. People like me don't become wealthy. So instead of challenging those beliefs, they just stay stuck, paycheck to paycheck, stressed about debt, never building real wealth. But here's the truth. That belief is the chain, not your reality. And if you can break it, your entire financial life changes. Now, why am I telling you this? Because there is a secret force that can turn an ordinary person into a millionaire. A force so powerful that Albert Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. That force is compounding. And on this channel, we don't just talk about money in theory. We show you how to actually apply these principles in your life step by step. So if you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever thought, I'm too late, I don't earn enough, it's impossible for me, I want you to stick around, because today I'm going to show you how the power of compounding works, why most people completely misunderstand it, and how you can use it to create wealth in your own life. Welcome back. I'm David, and today we're breaking down the real mechanics of financial freedom. On this channel, we dive into smart investing strategies, building wealth step by step, and uncovering the secrets to achieving financial independence, all in a way that's practical and easy to follow. If you want to take control of your money, make your dollars work for you, and learn proven strategies to grow your wealth, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Let me give you a choice. Option 1, I hand you a steady paycheck of $100,000 per year for the next 20 years. No ups, no downs, just a guaranteed six-figure salary. Option 2, I give you just 1 penny on day 1, but here's the twist. That penny doubles every single day for the same 20 years. Now, if you're like most people, you'll jump on the $100,000 salary. It feels safe, secure, and honestly, who wouldn't want 6 figures guaranteed? But here's the mind-bending part. That tiny penny doubling every day grows into something unimaginable. In the first week, it looks like nothing. A few cents, then a few dollars. By the second week, it's still laughable compared to a 6-figure salary. But somewhere around day 28, that penny has already crossed $1 million. And by day 40, it's in the billions. That's the raw power of compounding. It looks like nothing in the beginning. Slow, boring, almost invisible. But once it kicks in, the growth is explosive. And this is exactly how wealth works in real life. Think about it. If you start investing even a modest amount early, say $500 a month in a simple index fund that averages around 10% annual return, which historically the S&P 500 has done over the long term, by the time you hit retirement age, that single decision could snowball into millions of dollars. But here's the catch. Most people never get to experience it. Why? Because in the beginning, it feels pointless. Just like that elephant who doesn't test the chain anymore, people invest for a year or two, see small results, and give up. They don't realize that the first million takes the longest, but the second million can happen in a fraction of the time. And if you don't believe me, let me give you some examples where compounding created life-changing wealth. Most people think building wealth requires winning the lottery or starting a billion-dollar company. But in reality, the magic of compounding makes ordinary people rich over time if they start early and stay consistent. Let's look at some real-life examples. Example 1, Amazon stock. In the late 1990s, Amazon was just an online bookstore. A young investor put $1,000 into Amazon stock in 1997. For years, nothing dramatic happened. The stock went up and down, sometimes losing money. But if that investor had simply held on, by 2019, that tiny $1,000 investment had grown to over $700,000. That's 700 times growth without ever touching the money, just by letting compounding and time do their work. Example 2, Apple stock. Apple is another perfect example. In 2003, Apple was still a small company, just starting to innovate beyond the iPod. Imagine investing $5,000 at that time. By 2023, that $5,000 would be worth over $1 million. Again, the key wasn't timing the market or predicting trends. It was starting early and staying invested. The stock did the heavy lifting, compounding year after year. Small, consistent investments. Here's where it gets practical for anyone watching this video. You don't need $1,000 up front. Even $100 or $200 a month invested consistently in an index fund or diversified stock portfolio can grow into life-changing wealth over 20 to 30 years. Let's break that down with realistic numbers. You start at age 25, investing $200 per month into an index fund, averaging 10% annual return. By age 35, your account grows to roughly $43,000. Not life-changing yet, but a solid start. By age 45, it's about $140,000. By age 55, you're over $400,000. And by age 65, your account can exceed $1 million, all from small, consistent contributions and letting compounding do its job. Notice the pattern here. The first milestone, your first $50,000 to $100,000, takes patience and time. But once you cross that, growth accelerates because your money starts earning money on money. This is why the rich often talk about letting money work for you. It's compounding in action, the psychological edge. Most people fail because they give up too early. They see small growth in the first few years, get impatient, and either stop investing or withdraw their gains. This is the biggest mistake. Think about it. The first million often takes the longest, but after that, the next million comes much faster. Here's an illustration. You invest $500 per month for 10 years and reach $100,000. Continue for another 10 years. That $100,000 compounds to nearly $350,000. Next 10 years, that $350,000 grows to over $1 million. Notice how growth explodes in the later years. That's compounding at work. The earlier you start, the more dramatic the effect. The power of reinvesting. Another key principle, always reinvest your returns. For example, if your stock pays dividends, don't spend them. Let them buy more shares, which then grow in value, producing even larger returns next year. This creates a snowball effect. Small amounts turn into massive wealth over time. Even people who weren't born rich have leveraged compounding to build wealth. Someone investing $5,000 a year, starting at age 25 in a broad index fund, could retire with over $1.5 million by age 65. A couple saving $1,000 per month consistently from their 30s could easily surpass $3 million in retirement, assuming a reasonable 8 to 10% annual return. Why most people miss out? The sad truth is that most people never experience this power. They start too late. They don't invest consistently. They pull out money too early or chase quick wins like hot stocks or crypto hype. But if you commit to starting small, early, and consistently, and let time and compounding work for you, you can grow wealth far beyond what most people imagine. Key takeaways. Start early. Even $50 a month can snowball into hundreds of thousands over decades. Be consistent, and small, regular contributions are more powerful than occasional large sums. Reinvest everything. Let dividends, interest, and gains compound. Be patient. The first million is the hardest. The next comes faster. Remember, compounding isn't magic. It's mathematics plus patience plus discipline. But when you understand it and apply it in real life, it's like giving yourself a superpower for wealth. Now that we understand the power of compounding and have seen real-life examples, it's time to talk about how to maximize it in your own financial journey and avoid the mistakes that most people make. 1. Time is your greatest asset. The single biggest factor in wealth creation is time. The earlier you start, the more powerful compounding becomes. Let's take two friends as an example. Alex starts investing at age 25, putting $200 per month into an index fund with a 10% average annual return. Taylor starts at age 35, investing the same $200 per month with the same returns. By age 55, Alex will have roughly $300,000. Taylor will have only about $100,000. That's 20 years of lost compounding, and Taylor worked just as hard and invested the same amount, but starting 10 years later makes a huge difference. The lesson: start early, even if it's small. A little money at 25 is far more powerful than a lot of money at 35. 2. Rate of return matters. Not all investments are created equal. The rate of return compounds over time, which means a few extra percentage points make a massive difference over decades. For example, imagine investing $10,000 at different annual rates for 30 years. 5% annual return, $43,000, 8% annual return, $100,000, 10% annual return, approximately $175,000. Notice how just 5 extra percentage points nearly quadruples your wealth. That's why choosing investments with higher long-term returns, like diversified stock index funds, is so important. 3. Avoid early withdrawals. One of the biggest traps people fall into is taking money out too early. Even a small withdrawal can significantly reduce your compounding potential. For example, let's say you have $100,000 invested at 8% annually. You withdraw $10,000 after 5 years. Now, instead of compounding on $100,000 for the next 20 years, you're compounding on $90,000, which can reduce your total wealth by tens of thousands over time. The key: keep your money invested and let it grow. Patience beats timing the market every single time. 4. Minimize fees. Fees might seem small, but over decades, they can eat away a huge portion of your wealth. For example, an index fund with a 1% annual fee might not sound bad, but over 30 years, that 1% can reduce your final balance by 25 to 30% compared to a fund with a 0.1% fee. Always check expense ratios, avoid unnecessary trading, and focus on low-cost, long-term investments. 5. Reinvest dividends. Many investors ignore dividends, but this is a critical component of compounding. Reinvesting dividends means that your earnings buy more shares, which generate even more dividends next year. Over 20 to 30 years, this can double or triple the growth of your investments. 6. Avoid common psychological mistakes. Most people sabotage compounding without realizing it. Reacting to market dips, panic selling in downturns destroys years of growth. Chasing hot tips, trying to pick the next big stock or cryptocurrency often leads to losses. Spending windfalls, bonuses, tax refunds, or extra income should be invested, not spent. Instead, focus on consistency, patience, and letting compounding work silently in the background. 7. Use real-life examples to motivate yourself. Here's what it looks like in practice. Monthly investment: $500 per month in an S&P 500 index fund. Annual return: 10%, time horizon, 30 years, by retirement, you could have over $750,000, even if you never made a single big move or took unnecessary risks. If you increase contributions gradually or let it grow for 40 years, that same investment could exceed $2 million. Compounding is often called the eighth wonder of the world, and for good reason. The earlier you start, the smarter your choices, and the more patient you are, the more dramatic the results. It doesn't matter if you start with $50 a month or $500 a month. Time plus consistency plus smart investing equals life-changing wealth. Remember, you're not just investing money. You're investing time and patience. Every dollar you save today can become tens or hundreds of thousands tomorrow. So take action, start early, keep your investments consistent, reinvest everything, and let compounding do the heavy lifting. This is how ordinary Americans can create extraordinary wealth without taking huge risks, without being born rich, and without relying on luck. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on building wealth, smart investing, and achieving financial freedom. Also, drop a comment below if there's a specific financial topic you want me to cover. I read and reply to every single comment, so let me know what you want to see next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.